Arsenal 1, Shakhtar Donetsk 0. We won the game, but if we're to be honest, it wasn't the best of performances. It was actually a pretty poor performance, to be honest, with Arsenal. But we won the game, that's the main thing, and we can just move on to the next game against Inter Milan, I believe. And that's going to be a much, much tougher game in the Champions League. But it is what it is. We have to move on, especially with Liverpool in the weekend. I thought the lineup was much better this game, especially with Trossard coming back into the 10 and having Jesus on the wing. And by taking Marino out of the team and putting Rice and Partey in the defensive midfield positions, we were able to have a bit more creativity more up top, and it just looked a little bit more balanced in my opinion. However, that wasn't the case for this game. But here's the thing, right? In the first half, I thought we looked a lot better compared to the Bournemouth game. We had more possession, we had more chances, we looked more attacking, and I thought everyone did play well for a period of time, especially in the first half. But the second half was a completely different story. We just looked like we just wanted to see out the game and just return to our defensive shell, and I didn't really like seeing that, especially if we're at home, because it's Shakhtar Donetsk. They're not Manchester City or Tottenham away or anything like that where you have to play like that, and I thought it sent a really negative message to the rest of the team. But I think because we lost to Bournemouth, it was just more important of getting back to winning ways. So I can understand why we went and played like that, but it just didn't look very good to me, because it allowed Shakhtar Donetsk to get back into the game, and they had a really key chance, especially towards stoppage time, where David Raya made a key save. Now, David Raya didn't have much to do in this game, but when it counted, he made some key saves at key moments, and he's done very well in that regard. He was much better compared to the game against Bournemouth, where he looked a lot more erratic, but in this one, he looked a lot more calmer. If we were to look at certain players, Calafiori, he played that inverted role on the left-hand side. He missed an absolute sitter, which was not good, especially in the first 5 minutes of the game. And if we saw, especially in the second half, he came off with an injury, I'm scared. I'm not sure what's going to happen to him now. I hope it's not a bad injury and that he can come back for the Liverpool game and the rest of the games that we have, because with the amount of injuries that we have with Tomiyasu and Timber and Saliba out with the red card and Tierney and possibly Odegaard and Saka, I'm not sure how we're going to fare against Liverpool, especially at home, but hopefully he can come back and play that game. And especially with Ben White, I know he came off and Partey was playing right back, and whenever Partey plays right back, that's always a bad sign for me. But hopefully we're just saving Ben White for the Liverpool game. Hopefully he's fit and he's ready. I know he's still carrying an injury somewhere just by the way that he plays, but hopefully he can be fit for the Liverpool game. And when Miles Lewis-Skelly came on, he looked okay. He was a bit cautious in the beginning with the amount of passes he was making back to the goalkeepers and the defenders, but I think as the game went on, he looked a little bit more confident. But what I will say is that he played all right, but he needs to just be a bit more confident, and he needs to work on his physicality, just get a little bit more strength, because he was going to drown very easily. And in the Premier League, and especially in the Champions League, with certain referees, they just won't allow that, or they won't call the foul for that. So he just needs to be a bit careful when he does that, and he done that in the box as well, and that could have gone bad in my opinion. But if we were to look at the whole game as a whole, I think if we were to look at two key players that I wanted to see performances from, Trossard especially, this is the second game in the row where he's put in a bad performance. He didn't look that great in this game at all, and he missed a penalty. And the thing is, I thought Kai Havertz should have taken the penalty, especially since he was on the 7-game consecutive streak at the Emirates, and if he had scored today, it would have been an 8th game and he would have tied RVP. And I know that they gave the penalty to Trossard just to sort of help his confidence and to just make amends for what happened against Bournemouth, but he missed today, and I'm not sure if he's going to be allowed to take another penalty in the future, because they did that with Havertz and they thought that this would work today, and I credit Havertz for being unselfish in that regard. But with Trossard, if you're going to make a statement in the beginning of the season with that celebration saying you need to start me, then you need to put in the performances to show that. And what we saw against City and Bournemouth, it's been very 50-50 in my opinion, and that's now swinging towards the negative side. And maybe it's going to be a good idea if he just becomes a 12th man again, honestly, or if Martinelli isn't doing too well, then go back on the left wing. It's good that he's been able to cover Martin Odegaard, but let's be honest, if Martin Odegaard came back fully fit tomorrow, we'd all pick him over Trossard in the 10, and that's just the way that it's going to be. I thought that overall in the game, we were trying to conserve our energy in second gear because we're getting ready for Liverpool, but it's not really really an excuse for the performances that we've seen today. And Gabriel Jesus, this is the 23rd game where he hasn't been able to score a goal. He hasn't been able to score a goal for Arsenal since January. Imagine, he's on 200k a week. He's one of our top paid players and he hasn't scored a goal since January. And the thing is, I can see he was trying to make runs and dribble and go ahead of the defender and try and do something there, but the thing is, he's had chances in this game. And the thing is that if you're not going to be able to score against Bolton and you're not going to be able to score against Shakhtar Donetsk, then I don't know when you're going to be able to score. And he was given the captain's armband for some reason, and look, I'm honestly not sure why he had the captaincy armband to begin with. Maybe it's to build his confidence or something, but I'm just not convinced with Gabriel Jesus at all. He's just going to have to accept the fact that he's going to be on the bench. He's going to be back up, and if we have the opportunity to move him on, then we need to do it either in January or in the summer. It's going to be a bit difficult, but I think I'm kind of through with Gabriel Jesus. 23 games, that is absolutely ridiculous, especially as an attacker. I'm not impressed at all. Overall, other than that, I thought the ref did okay in this game compared to the ones in the Prem. And the reason why I say that is because I wasn't worried about the ref and if they were going to do some topsy-turvy decisions compared to what's going on in the Premier League. And he gave the penalty, and with the penalty you could argue either side, but he gave it, and I could see why it did directly hit his hand. But that's why I wanted to mention about the refs today. Mikel Moreno as well, especially when he came on, he didn't look very appealing or very impressive, if that makes sense. And I'm not sure if he's going to be able to get ahead of Thomas Partey this season, because with Mikel Moreno, I don't know why we're playing him on the right side of the midfield when he's left-footed, and Bryce could just play on the right side and they could just swap positions. I don't know what's going on. I don't know what the tactics are, but overall, Arteta, he just tried to get the win and shut up shop, and that's what he did, but it's not a sustainable way of playing football. I know that we've had very key injuries, but we need to be a bit braver. We need to just be a bit more expressive against Shakhtar Donetsk, because they were there for the taking. But with the sloppiness that we've had with our chances and our finishing especially, we needed to do better. But onwards to Liverpool, let's see how we do. I will be honest, I am not looking forward to going against Liverpool at the Emirates, because just with the level of performances I've seen from today and against Bournemouth, it doesn't look that great, but we can hope and we can see what goes on. But anyway, yeah, hope you all like this video. If you have anything different, a different point of view from me, then let me know. But let's see how we do against Liverpool. Hope to see you all soon. Bye bye.